Let me hit the record button here. All right, it might be a little bit of a small group, it looks like tonight. That's all right. Um, I am so excited because this is a topic that I'm really, really passionate about. I know that we are getting close to Christmas, and so I know everybody's really busy with the holidays. This will be just a quick call. Um, while everybody's kind of jumping on, though, I wanted to remind you, since we are over halfway through the month, you should be over a third of your way to your goals, okay? So with the holidays coming up, it kind of messes with that timeline a little bit. Usually I say by the 15th of the month, you should be about a third of the way to your goals. I would say this month, especially because we're not going to be doing a lot of business, obviously, on Christmas and in New Year's Eve, that we really should be trying to be a little bit closer to halfway to your goals by now. If you need help with anything, let me know, all right? That's what I'm here for. Okay, now, let's see, I want to make sure I've got everybody muted. Okay. All right, so I just wanted to, I was trying to figure out a way to package this little chat up nice and neat for everybody. It was kind of hard because leadership is a topic that is so broad, and I feel like even the word leader can be a little scary. And so first of all, before we get started, I just wanted to let you know that I know it can be scary, and I hope that the title of this call tonight didn't deter you from wanting to hop on. This is for anybody who's ready to take ownership of your leadership. I don't care if you are a brand new rep with not a single person on your Zaya team. I don't care if you've been with Zaya for a while. Maybe you don't have a teammate yet. Maybe you do, and you're kind of wondering, oh my gosh, am I even doing the right thing? Maybe I'm an accidental leader. I don't know what I'm doing. So this call tonight is for you. Because you are a leader. Guess what? You are. I think if you realize where you are in your community, in your home, at your job, at your school, I feel like you are a leader because you have something to give. And people trust you. You are a compassionate person. I know this about you already. And you believe in the good in others. We all have a place in this world as a leader, you guys. We all have a voice. We can all make an impact in our own way. And so this talk tonight is for you. And it's really funny because I never, ever, ever thought that I would be, well, speaking about anything really. And here I am talking about leadership. And I think it's so cool that direct sales is personal development disguised as a paycheck. Isn't that awesome, you guys? Now, I wanted to just kind of chat for just a minute about why I'm so passionate about the topic of leadership, why I ran from it for so long, and then I kind of broke it into 5 characteristics of what I feel like makes a good leader, okay? So I've been on this personal journey of leadership for, gosh, probably the last year, the last 12 months. And it has been years, you guys, years of me believing that leadership was only based on the size of your downline or the size of your rank or a certain title, maybe having an outgoing personality, being able to take charge of a room. These are all things that I just thought that leaders were. And I worked for another direct sales company for 4 years prior to joining Zaya. I loved it. I loved the work that we did, and I love the mission that we had. And I had a really enormous customer base, but I was stuck in that leadership development. And anytime I tried to do a team call or heck, a chat even in our group page, I just felt this imposter syndrome, and it was not a good feeling. I didn't have the highest sales in the company. Why would anybody ever want my help? I didn't have the top recruiting. Why could anybody want to learn from me? What did I have to offer? And over, this played in my head for a really long time. And honestly, when I started Zaya that first year, I was still feeling that way. I was trying to hide from the opportunity. I was nervous when new reps signed up with me because I was new. I didn't know how I was going to help them. And what if I didn't have what it took for them to succeed? I think that was my biggest fear in coming into a leadership role was, what if they fail because of me? And that's a really powerful roadblock. It's a question that really took me years to overcome. And really, it's only been in the last 12 months that I've been at peace, because whether or not I feel deserving, I am a leader just like each of you guys. And what I've come to understand is that you can't be a good leader if you don't care deeply about other people. So that must make the inverse true. We can all be great leaders as long as we freaking care about other people, okay? So it really comes down to that. Ultimately, I feel like if you are a combination of the 5 characteristics we're going to talk about tonight, or if you're working on some of those as we go, you are a leader. So be proud of that and own your leadership. I asked my boys the other night at dinner what they thought made a good leader, and it was really cute because at that point I just felt like they might as well go ahead and do this call tonight. They said a good leader is someone who sets a good example, someone who is kind to others, someone who helps, and someone who works really hard. So basically they took the words out of my mouth. But I know that you are a combination of each of these things too. So I know that you are a leader. All right, so the 5 characteristics that I think make a good leader a leader are these. First of all, are you accountable? All right, did you show up when you say you're going to? Did you do the things that you said you were going to do? And if not, why not? All right, that's always an important question to ask, because in our industry, you guys, we're an army of volunteers. I always say this: we can't make people show up to work. We can't force them, but if we can show our own commitment to our own accountability, I feel like that shows that we mean business, right? And if we're clear in our direction, then others know our expectations. So I think it all feeds into that. And this business grows at the speed of trust. So are you trustworthy? And do you have your team's back? So trust in our company, trust in our own leaders, and trust in each other as reps, I think are all really, really important. So, okay, are you accountable? Number 2, you have to be the pace car for your team. And let me take a step back by saying this does not mean that you have to be the highest seller on your team. This does not mean you have to be the highest recruiter on your team, because I am neither of those. And the fact is, you want people on your team who do this business better than you. But are you in the trenches with everybody else? I know every time we come out with an incentive, especially like the 3x4 that we're doing this month, those are hard. Those are hard for me too. I don't always earn them, but I always work toward it every single month. I'm doing all the same things you guys are doing. I'm doing my reach outs. I'm doing my events. I'm following up with customers. I'm doing all the things that we need to do to run a successful business. And so I feel like if you can lead by example, then your team understands that, you're in it too. So I hope that you guys know I believe in you. I believe in the work that we're doing. I believe in our company and our mission to empower women of all shapes and sizes to feel confident and sexy and strong and beautiful doing the things that we love. So I hope you believe in that too. And I always say that our hours are flexible, but they're not negotiable. So when are you going to put in the work, and when are you going to ask your team to do the same? Like it or not, you guys, in this business, we can't sell the dream without the work. So we as leaders have to be willing to put in that work too. All right, so we are accountable. We are the pace car. Number 3, good leaders are able to figure it out. And I know if you're on this chat tonight that you have listened to other podcasts, maybe you've read interviews, read self-development books, personal development books, and I guarantee you will find the common theme in all of those, right? That these entrepreneurs figured it out along the way. And they have failed a whole bunch of times. They've made a whole bunch of mistakes. They learned what worked for them and what didn't, and they kept on trying. So as leaders, we have to let our team do the same. And I think that's hard, right? It's natural to want to take control and to just hold the reins really, really tight, especially as you are building this baby. And what we have to do is give our team the right information and let them make those mistakes, because that's when they learn to soar. Sometimes I mean, at night I try to put my phone away. Well, stuff happens at night. That's when people get home from work, put their kids to bed. They're doing some work too. And so sometimes I'm not able to respond until the next morning. And sometimes that helps them figure it out along the way. Sometimes it doesn't. It's okay. But the fact is that you kind of just have to give them that freedom, while obviously still being available. So, all right. Now, number 4, a good leader is vulnerable. And I think that is one of the most important things. That should probably be number 1. If you've known me for any length of time, you know that you always get the real with me. On my social media, I always try to share just as many of my struggles as my strengths. And so I have tried to invest a lot of energy into building a culture in this organization where you hopefully feel safe to be vulnerable and be yourself. And I know that I'm the first to admit when I've done something wrong, or when I've made a mistake, or I wish I would have done something differently. We get to earn while we learn in this business. And this is a really safe environment to do that. And so I hope you feel that way. Some of you know that my professional background is in city planning and in transportation planning specifically. So you guys, we didn't get to earn while we learned. We didn't get to be vulnerable. We didn't get to make mistakes. We couldn't just figure it out along the way, because that costs a lot of money and it costs a lot of time and a lot of work for people when we did make those mistakes. And so you have to remember that this is our little trust tree, right, at Zaya, and to just really embrace the fact that we get to kind of figure it out and grow. I feel like one of the greatest human needs is to be understood. And whether that is our frustrations or our struggles, our strengths, our triumphs, we all want to be understood at that visceral level. We want that vulnerability from those around us too. And so we have to be able to create that environment and thrive in that environment. And that doesn't mean that being vulnerable lets you have a complaint chain, right? I mean, I think we know this from many of our larger groups too, like Chrissy's and Natalie's, and we know that we can't use those groups to complain. There's a proper channel for that. You can text me anytime. I don't care. I'll be there for you. But it does mean that your voices are heard and that what you have to say is important and acknowledged. All right? Okay, you guys, last one. Always a beginner. Good leader is always a beginner. And I have to just go back to the fact that I've been in direct sales for 5 years now. And I think the only reason why I'm so excited every single day to get up and do it all over again is because I know that I am surrounded by you guys, others who teach me how to do it better, how to find a different way, how to come up with a different solution using a different equation. I never wanted to go into this acting like an expert, because I feel like that's when you stop learning. That's when you stop feeling motivated. That's when you really start dictating. You lose your passion, your excitement, your drive. And so I really do try to approach each day as a different opportunity to learn. Figuring out how to be of service to somebody else. And I'm on all those coaching calls and training calls, just like you guys. I was on all the winter series training. Even if I couldn't hop on live, I guarantee you I was listening to the recording first thing the next morning, because I want to be able to take those practices back to my business too. So I really love treating each day like it's the first day of my business. And I think that's what gives me that motivation to continue doing that every single day. So, all right, you guys, that's it. If you are taking notes, we have, are you accountable? Are you the pace car for your team? Are you able to figure it out? Are you vulnerable? And are you always a beginner? And you guys, this can apply to all facets of your life, not just Zaya. So remember that if you're at your corporate job, if you are a stay-at-home mom, these are all things that you can apply to your church, to your volunteer organizations, wherever you are in your life. So, okay, that was it for tonight. I told you I'd keep it short and sweet. If you have any questions, you can put them in the chat. Any other business building practices, tips, tricks, whatever. I did do that video on Team Uplift this morning of some things that you can be working on this week, now that we are kind of past the official holiday shipping deadline as of tonight. So make sure to watch that if you haven't had a chance yet. And yeah, I think that's it. So I don't know what January will bring for our monthly team call. I'm not sure yet, because I know some of us are overseas during we usually try and do this in the middle of the month. So we might just play around with some dates. But if nobody else has any other questions, then we will stop for the night. But I hope you guys have a really phenomenal holiday season with your families. And I hope that you're enjoying, even with the hustle and bustle, I hope that you're still enjoying your business. And I hope that these tips helped you guys tonight to feel comfortable in your own leadership. So have a good night, you guys.